I mean, I think it, you know, the original 300 back, the 55 300C, they used to call it the banker's muscle car. You know, it was a really sophisticated vehicle that had an outsized engine, was really powerful, fun to drive, and that's what this is all about. I mean, this is the ability to have both luxury and performance. It's not that hard for us to conceive a car like the 300 when you live in a city like Detroit. I mean, people, you know, just like LA in a way, you know, people are very proud of their cars here. They really respect them. It's an extension of their personality. And the 300 is one of those cars that has the ability to be whatever you want it to be. It could be your sports car, it could be your muscle car, it could be your cruiser, it could be your chrome machine, your hip-hop mobile. I mean, it really kind of flexes with its audience. And to this day, I think, you know, just like we're in this SRT, it can be a track car as well. So it's this car that has this ability to put on kind of whatever suit the moment requires.
It's amazing how one product can change the trajectory of a company.
Chrysler's always had that history of being able to take risks. We had this wonderful rear drive architecture, and we knew the rear drive proportions give you this automatically premium look. So why not go all the way, you know, and take it all the way? And then we kind of experimented with this really tall belt line, short window, and said, why not for production? It can't just be a show car. So we did it, and it's really, you're right, it really has gotten people into our brand that otherwise would never have been.
Now, you've got an interesting upbringing. I heard a funny story. Is it true that your aunt sent a letter to the chief of design, or to Iacocca?
Iacocca, yeah, she did. I used to spend summers sketching, and she noticed that. She said, you should do this for a living. And they wrote us back. Neil Walling actually answered it, and it took me almost 8 years later, but I actually followed their advice.
And that was when you were like in grade school?
Yeah, I was about just about 13 and a half years old. And that's one of the reasons I joined Chrysler. I had a few offers, and I said, you know, Chrysler's been there from the beginning. There's something here. There must be a reason. Both on the base car and the SRT, so there's a great opportunity to use world-class materials. When you think of an interior in a car, there's hundreds and hundreds of little products inside one big product. So it takes a lot of effort to get it right, and talk about getting really precise and detailed.
This little piece of fabric here, you know, that it's actually perforated leather. I mean, what are the choices?
Oh, lots. I mean, there's shiny leather, there's what we call protein vinyl, there's split grain leather, all these different leathers.
The way the buttons click, is that something, the knobs, everything?
Yeah, I remember this actual switch, they gave us about 20 of them, and you had to push them and listen. And there's a little copper thing that kind of makes a clicking sound, and that's part of our job too.
From an exterior design standpoint, what have you tried to do with the SRT cars?
We're trying to kind of make it subtle, and everything on it's functional. Every SRT, even though it may look like a spoiler add-on, it all does something. These cars are not speed limited, so they can go up to 174 miles per hour. So we tune for aero first, and then we add a little distinction to make them, you know, so someone who's a car guy can look at the car 100 feet away and go, that's an SRT.
You know, it's funny how far things have come. I remember when I was in high school, the fastest cars there in the 60s was a turbo Porsche, 5.0 seconds. This car's faster than that, and it's a business sedan.
Yeah, it'll do 0 to 60 in 4.6. It'll pull, what was that car G-wise?
That one was at like high 0.7, maybe 0.8.
Yeah, this car will pull 0.9 G, so, and do 174 miles per hour all day long. But it's, you know, this car with its 50-50 weight distribution is really fun, and, you know, a lot of steering angle and a lot of torque, so it's easy to light up. So actually, it's best kept secret. It's the world's best drift machine.
You're the first auto industry executive that I've ever done that with, and I suspect there aren't a lot of them that can. Well, what a segue. Let's turn up the music and go for a drive. Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with SRT President Ralph Gilles and all 4 of our SRT cars. Standing here, you look like a proud papa. What's that feel like?
Feels phenomenal. This is a coming out party for SRT right now.
Take us back to the beginning. How did you become involved with SRT?
Well, I've been kind of a big supporter of SRT for a long time. I've been at Chrysler since 1992, and I kind of came here because of SRT products like the Viper back in the day. It wasn't called SRT back then, but it was the same basic idea. And over the years, I've just kind of become closer and closer to the team. They've used me for testing, used my opinion, and all of a sudden the boss kind of tapped me on the shoulder. Hey, you like this stuff? And I go, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it for real.
So what is SRT? What does it mean, and what drives you guys?
Well, first of all, the name comes from street and racing technology, and we mean it. A lot of the engineers that are SRT engineers are also racers. They're SCCA hobbyists. They have either open-wheel cars. Russ Rudicelli, one of the leaders, is an open-wheel racer. Got guys that do a little bit of drifting, guys that do some rally. So it's been quite a cocktail of true car guys. And we're all bench racers, as you know. We take the base cars, drive them around, and like anybody else, if I put rims on it, if I put a brake kit, you start thinking that way. So SRT is kind of taking all the things that people would like to do, but probably couldn't afford to do it as well as we could with the engineering behind it, and make it available. And really, if you look at, especially the Charger and the 300, all of our cars, there's nothing like them for, in terms of the bang for the buck. There really isn't anything quite like these vehicles.
So is that how it starts? You guys say, what would I like for myself? And you build it and you figure there's enough people like you?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes what we do is we'll build a trial car. We'll actually just throw something together and let the management drive it. And they're like grudgingly like, I think, damn it, I like this car. So we almost have to make it. And I would say we seduce a lot of our own that way, just by building them and seeing how they perform.
Now, what do you think SRT offers that other companies don't?
Really, it's about the product. It's the value proposition. I mean, the kind of horsepower we're offering, the features, the content, it's kind of been the Chrysler story all along anyway. It's like a lot of car for not so much money, and now we're adding a lot of performance, a lot of feature, a lot of even high-tech stuff, which really hasn't been our bailiwick for a while. So our SRT is a great repository of a lot of things that we know now.
Obvious question is, what's next for SRT?
Well, we're going to pay attention. First of all, every time we build a car, we actually engage each customer group. So we'll actually have chats, monthly forum chats. I jump in once in a while, but my engineers constantly do. And we listen to our customers. So a lot of the things we've done in 2012 model came from feedback based on the owner. So we never stop inventing, never stop try to better solve the cars.
Now, all 4 of these cars, let's first talk what's common to them. What do they share?
The one part that's shared between all vehicles is the Hemi, right? The new 470 horsepower, 6.4 liter Hemi. In all cases, except for the manual Challenger, it has MDS, which is great. This is a 4-cylinder mode feature. They all have adaptive suspension this time around. We've been working with Bilstein, Brembo brakes. You can see the kind of stuff we're doing. So we're putting a lot of high quality components in these cars, and we learn from each other. In terms of each one is tuned differently. They all have their own personality. The Challenger is by far the most sprightly and stiffest one. Charger is second, and this 300 is the softest, most plush one. Still a sports car, but more of a gentleman's sports car. And then the Grand Cherokee is a beast. So that thing it's actually Jekyll and Hyde. It can be nice and plush, and it can be a track car in a split second.
I call that one the bad seed.
Yeah, yeah it is.
It's evil.
It's surprising, it really is.
Mm-hmm. Take us through each vehicle and what's special about it.
Well, let's start with the Challenger. Challenger held the fort for a while these were being developed. It was still in production. The Challenger, to me, is a fun one. That's obviously the nostalgic car. And the Charger's, in a way, the kind of the ostentatious, ferocious, wear my performance on my sleeve. It's really aggressive. It's the one Darth Vader would drive. The 300 is a very stealthy machine. I mean, you have to look carefully at the badge. And I would say the Grand Cherokee is the beast. I mean, really, it has an amazing presence on the road, and its performance is like no other with the 4-wheel drive tractive capability.
I can't wait to see what's next. Really appreciate you coming out and sharing your time and all your cars with us.
Thanks, Tommy.
You bet. The SRT test drive. We'll be right back. When it was formed in 2002, the SRT brand stood for Bold Benchmark American Performance. Today, as it launches its brand new 6.4-liter Hemi V8 and unveils its stunning new lineup, the power of SRT is as potent as ever. Challenger, Charger, 300, and Grand Cherokee, each wearing the SRT8 badge, each infused with more horsepower and torque, greater fuel efficiency, superior handling, extraordinary braking, and incredible styling, inside and out. They are cars that are not afraid to show their strength, flaunt their style, or protect your safety. Street and racing technology, where world-class performance meets American muscle. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tommy Kendall. See you next time.